Allah is not here to say, okay, well, what you are doing wrong, I'm going to punish you. Rather, in general, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is kind to us. He wants us to become better version of ourselves.
ومن الناس من يشري نفسه ابتغاء مرضات الله والله رؤوف بالعباد يا أيها الذين آمنوا ادخلوا في السلم كافة ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين فإن زللتم من بعد ما جاءتكم البينات فاعلموا أن الله عزيز حكيم هل ينظرون إلا أن يأتيهم الله في ظلل من الغمام والملائكة وقضي الأمر وإلى الله ترجع الأمور.
In this set of verses, we are reminded about three key ideas. The first one is, think about what happens when you are following a diet plan, when you are following a workout plan. What happens? It causes you to transform to a much better, a much stronger version of yourself. Yes, you have to sacrifice your desires. You may feel like eating that cake, that pizza, that big bowl of rice, or drinking soda, what have you. But following a plan helps you become better. Now in this verse, the first verse here is actually reminding us of some amazing people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is praising, and these people, they sacrifice their own desires. They discipline their own desires. They discipline their own preferences to align with the preferences and commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's an amazing state to be, because if you do that, obviously you will not become a better version of yourself. You will actually become the best version of yourself. A true servant of Allah, a true slave of Allah, a true wali or ally of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So think about that when we are making choices. How many of my choices are against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, are not aligned with the preferences of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and what am I working on to build and become better? The second reminder that we have here is Allah in general is reminding us that He is amazingly kind to His servants. And that's a great message to remember, that look, Allah is not here to say, okay, well, what you are doing wrong, I'm going to punish you. Rather, in general, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is kind to us. He wants us to become better version of ourselves. He wants us to be kind, peaceful, and become better, not for our own self, but for our families as well as for the society. The third thing that we learn here is a very important point, and that is complete submission in Islam. And just like usual, we look at extremes on some ideas, because some people take one idea and go to one extreme and take another idea and go to another extreme. We want to have that balance and share those nuances with you so you can have a balanced view of things. So here we have a reminder of complete submission. Now, what does that mean? For some people, this would mean that, okay, I'm going to do everything or I will do nothing. That's not what it means. It doesn't mean that, okay, look, you know what? Well, why have a beard or hijab while you are backbiting, or while you are missing your prayers, or while you're doing some sort of fraud or cheating people? That's not what it means, that just wait to be perfect and then adopt everything together. That's not what it means at all. Because obviously everyone has faults. So if you take one action, let's say a sister is wearing hijab, that does not mean that she is a perfect Muslim. Similarly, a sister that doesn't wear hijab does not mean that she is the worst of the Muslimah. Or a brother who has a beard doesn't mean that he's the best Muslim, and the one who doesn't is the worst Muslim. No, it's just like, yes, in that particular order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the sister wearing hijab, she has a check mark, obviously, if she has the right intention. Great. The sister that doesn't, in that particular order, yes, she doesn't comply with the order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but as a whole, we cannot make that judgment. Same thing goes for the beard and other rules. Now, on the other extreme, the issue is where people say, you know what, I agree with these 10 things of Islam, but these 10 things, they're not saying that it's hard for me to implement them today. I would like to adopt them. What they are saying is that these 10 things are not applicable in this time. Or I'm going to pick and choose. I will do these 5 things, but I won't do these other things. For example, they may say, you know what, I will, for example, stay away from alcohol and stay away from pork, but you know what, I don't think I need to pray. I have a good heart, Allah knows it, I don't need to pray. Okay, now that's a problematic thing. This is different than saying, you know what, I adopt it, I submit to the whole of Islam, but I'm working on certain things, and certain things I have actually adopted, and certain things I'm actually working on it. So that's a good balanced view. And then lastly, there's also a reminder of warning that, look, if we don't do that, then yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is severe in punishment, and we should look at that. So if we cannot do something because of the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, let's not forget the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well.